Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you to celebrate the 6th anniversary of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. So let's get into it. This gameplay is made by DAI. This is not my gameplay of all the characters' ultimate abilities, so shout outs to him. I'm also put the video link in the comments. So this is his video, Die. This is not my gameplay of all the ultimates in the game. So my history with the One Piece Pirate Warriors series isn't really that long because when I first got into One Piece, when I was in middle school, a little bit younger than that, not elementary, but I was around middle school, around fifth or sixth grade. I remember I really wanted to play a One Piece game, so I started to look up, One Piece games when I first got into it, and I found a few other games like on the Wii, on the DS. I never got those games, but the one game I kept seeing the most was the One Piece Pirate Warrior series, and it looked so cool to me. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Nami, Usopp, and all of them in the pre-time skip where I was where they're taking out like hundreds of these enemies in this big arena. Like that looked dope to me. And it was really funny because I was spoiling myself a little bit. Now I didn't know who these characters were, but eventually we'll get like Chopper, Frankie, and stuff like that. I didn't know they were part of the Straw Hats, but I'll see them pop up on the gameplay I'll watch. I'm like, who are these guys? And I'll also see Luffy and Zoro them with the pre-time skip and post-time skip designs doing these really big, crazy attacks. I'm like, when are they gonna be able to do this? They can make the arms black, arm hockey stuff like that. I didn't know about any of that, which is really funny whenever I think about it. But yeah, when I saw the gameplay, I thought it looked really dope. So I'm like, oh man, I gotta get this game. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to play it because One Piece Pirate Warriors 1, 2, and 3 is only on the PlayStation. They're PlayStation exclusive, which really sucks. So all I could do is just watch gameplay. Now, Pirate Warriors 4, as you know, I was able to buy it because, hey, it finally came out on Xbox. It was an Xbox game. Well, no, not an Xbox exclusive. It came out on Xbox and PlayStation and everything else. And I was really, really happy about that. I remember it was like late at night. I was playing the game with my friends, and I remember also it was a really cool night too because the first episode of Wano came out, and all the big YouTubers that do One Piece, like Rogers Base, King of Lightning, Brago, all of them were over at Rogers Base's house to do a live stream watching the first episode of Wano, which was so dope. So when I was playing the game with my friends, I kept looking at my phone constantly to look at the live stream of them watching the first episode of Wano. And then while that was going on, I got a notification of the announcement trailer for Pirate Warriors 4. And I've been wanting a Pirate Warriors game to play for the longest. I'm like, finally, it's coming out on Xbox. I was so excited. I'm playing the game. The announcement trailer get released. I'm watching, all the biggest YouTubers watch Wano. That was a good night. That was a really good night. That night was going crazy. And eventually, they started coming out with character trailers. I was keeping up with the news cycle. I didn't really make too many videos on One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. If it came out today, I'll be on I'll make a lot of videos about the characters getting announced and stuff. But back when it first got announced, I only made a video about when it first got announced because I remember around the same time, what was it called? My Hero. What's the second movie with Nine? Heroes Rising. That movie got announced too. So I made a video talking about those two things because they came out around the same time, like the announcement for both of those things. And also I made a video on a character wish list, and I was really excited because it didn't show because Kaido was like a later addition, not a later addition like DLC, but Kaido they didn't reveal him until later in the announcement trailer. It was just Big Mom and Luffy, and that announcement trailer is so funny whenever I look back at it because obviously at the end of the trailer and also in the title and the thumbnails it says Pirate Warriors 4, but when you watch the trailer, it does not look like like it's so funny when I look at that because that does not look like Pirate Warriors at all. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, it's a good looking trailer with Big Mom coming in, Luffy going into Gear 4, flying towards her. But you looking at that gameplay, you're not thinking Pirate Warriors, that reveal trailer is so funny whenever I think about it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I made a video about a character wish list. I really wanted Kaido to be in the game because I really like Kaido, but he's also in the logo. And the logo obviously shows his Kanabo making a dent in the logo, and also shows Big Mom slicing half of the logo. And I was like, wait a second, that dent. I didn't realize that dent looked like his Kanabo until like maybe a month or so later. I'm like, wait a second. Oh yeah, that's Kaido. I was like, that gotta be Kaido. I was so happy. I'm like, hey, they're bringing Kaido in here. So the news cycle kept happening. They were revealing more and more trailers about the story mode, about the game. Eventually, the game came out. This was around the time to where COVID was happening because it was 2020. Whenever COVID happened, I still got the game because COVID wasn't anything too crazy. So I got the game day one. And what's funny about getting the game day one was there was some free Wano skins you could get if you got the game day one. It was only for Luffy, Zoro, Nami, I think Sanji too. I think it wasn't his Wano like kimono skin. I think it was his raid suit skin he could get. I don't think he actually got the raid suit in the nah, he didn't actually get the raid suit in the game, but he was like able to get a skin for it. Those specific skins, if you get the game day one, if you go to the store or on whatever console you had, they were free. And I remember the day I got it, it was late. So basically that night I got it day one. And then the very next day I saw that post that you can get those skins for free. I was like, oh no, I missed out. This is horrible. And went on the Xbox store. It was still available for free. I mean, I clicked that so quick to get those skins, and I still got them. I thought I completely missed out. I was about to get so mad. The game was pretty fun. Now, this was my very first Pirate Warriors game playing it, but it was really fun. I have a friend that plays on PlayStation. He played one, two, and three, and he was telling me about the differences specifically in three to four about how in three I think you can call like a support character. Well, it's a character you can play as, but you can call like a support character out to extend a combo and keep it going. Like he was telling me about the differences, and some stuff in three does sound really cool. It would have been in four, but for what four had, it was really fun. I guess the other games didn't have a jump button, but this game does. The combos are really cool. You can upgrade your characters. I didn't like fully upgrade all my characters, but I did upgrade a good amount of them. I know specifically I upgraded like to the max Kaido, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and everything. And every I don't know if it was in the other games, but I know in this game every character has a specific type of speed, power, flight type. I didn't really like the flight or speed type. I forgot which one it was, but I think it was specific. Yeah, the flight types because whenever you go into your awakening, that's the gameplay that is showing here. The ultimates and the awakening. Whenever your character, does that little animation and they get powered up and a little color surges around them like that. That's like a powered up like move like I guess like Super Saiyan or something like a boost or an awakening is basically. I forget what they specifically call it, but it's basically like an awakening. Whenever that happens, your character gets a bit stronger, your attacks get stronger, and some. Oh yeah, I was so happy when they announced Drake. He was in the story mode. I don't know why he wasn't in the game. Already. But anyway, your character they get boosted when you go into that state. I forget what it was called, but for flight characters, obviously they can start to hover and fly. And I just hated that because it will mess me up. Like I like playing a Sanji, but then when I go into my boosted state, I'll start to do skywalk, and sometimes it'll help me out, but most of the time I don't know. It would just mess me up sometimes. Maybe I wasn't. I just really wasn't that good with flight characters. So whenever I played as Sanji or other flight characters, I did like to play as. Oh yeah, I also upgraded, maxed Law and Kid and some other ones. But whenever I was playing as a flight character like Sanji, I just really wouldn't do the boosted state because the flying would kind of mess me up sometimes. Whenever I try to do my combos and stuff like that, it was a little annoying. What else about this? Oh yeah, the story mode. The story mode was pretty cool. I know in Pirate Warriors One, it like did like specific arcs in the game up to whatever point. Pirate Warriors Two, they did a specific story, original story. I like that a little bit better. I mean, playing through the regular story in a anime game is cool, especially with whatever graphics is going to be in the game. But if you gave me the choice to just play through the regular story arcs that's in the regular story or to play through a totally anime original game, I'll probably take the original story since I'm gonna be surprised, it's gonna be a cool, unique story based on the game and whatever's going on in that story. I'd rather just have that than, just play through the story again. But I mean, I guess it's whatever. I mean, I guess it's whatever. But two was an original story. I really like two because of that. And three was the same thing with one and four, where you just played the original story in Pacific Arc. It doesn't have all the arcs because that would have been a lot. But it just has specifically some of the more bigger ones, And in four and three, they had to make up their own original story for two Pacific arcs. Specifically with three, they had to come up with their own original story for Dressrosa because Dressrosa was still going on at the time, and obviously they didn't know the ending of Dressrosa, so they had to make up something. And the same thing happened in Pirate Warriors 4, where Wano was still going on when this game was developed, so they had to just come up with their own original story. And their original own story for Pirate Warriors 4, for Wano specifically, I thought it was kind of cool. Especially with the Katakuri. 'Cause I remember Akiji was here as like a secret agent for Blackbeard in Wano. Katakuri also was on Wano. Oh, an ad. Sorry about that. An ad popped up. I had to pause it really quickly. I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to show ads like that. At least the ad that are mine. So, where was I? Oh yeah, Katakuri. He was on Wano helping Big Mom scope out the scene, seeing what was going on. I remember there was a part of the story to where Luffy Zoro. I mean, not sorry, not Luffy. Luffy, Kid, and Katakuri all teamed up for a little while, and they all had to fight Jack. Like it was a lot of cool little moments in here. And then the final battle was really cool too, with Luffy doing that cool like corkscrew attack and Snake Man. They beat down Kaido and everything. Well, they didn't even beat Kaido. So Sabo was here to help out in the Kaido fight. Kinemon was there too with Luffy and them because they had to make up so they didn't really know what was gonna happen. But the original story was pretty cool. I remember when I was playing the Kaido fight, it was kind of tough in the final story. And those little intermittent cutscenes kind of scared me. At least the first one kind of spooked me. Not because like it was scary, but I wasn't expecting it. Cause I'm like, fighting Kaido as hard as I can. I'm like trying to get health packs and stuff. And then while I'm doing that, out of nowhere, it like just freezes. And then the camera just jumps over to Sanji, Carrot, and Zoro. I'm like, what the? I was like, jump in, like, what's going on? And they all do like a combo attack to hit Kaido, and some of his health went down. I was like, oh, thank goodness! Like, I was so happy. But yeah, that was happening. I remember there was a cutscene. I'm gonna show some of the cutscenes too. I'm just showing all the ultimates right now. But there was a part of the story to where all the Straw Hats ganged up to fight Big Mom and they beat her, and then Blackbeard came out to attack Big Mom or to steal her fruit, so she had to run away into the mirror world. But there were some cool moments in the original Wano story. But I mean, yeah, eventually whenever they do come out with Power Warriors 5, they're gonna come out. They're gonna have the original story for this. I remember when the game first came out, I did two live streams to play through the story mode, and the second live stream took the. I didn't play through the whole game, but I just did like a live stream or two playing through the story mode. They're not really that good. I wasn't, my Wi-Fi at the time was kind of bad, and I didn't really know what to say during this during the gameplay. So a lot of times I was just really quiet. But I remember, the second live stream, I got to Alabasta, and I had to play as Zoro or Sanji to run around the big arena in Alabasta to find the bombs to take him down before I could fight, Mr. Two and Mr. One. And I just could not find the last bomb to take down. I think it was the bomb, but I just couldn't find it. I found all the other ones. I'm just running around like, where am I supposed to be going? There's like a little mini map right here that could help you. When I first started playing, I didn't really look at the mini map like that, so I got super lost. And I remember I did a third live stream which I didn't upload. I was like, okay, I got to replay this again, and I still couldn't find the last bomb for like an hour. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? I was getting so mad and upset. I was like completely lost. I'm like, where am I going? What is happening? Oh, there it is. I was like, I'm looking at the mini map to help me. I should have done that from the start. Whenever I think about that, that is hilarious. I was being so stupid. And this game has a lot of characters. It's a pretty decent sized roster. There's still a good amount of characters that weren't in the last. I mean, not in the last game. There was a good amount of characters in the last game, Pirate Warriors 3, that didn't make it over here, which kind of sucks. Obviously, they probably won't be able to bring everybody over. But one thing that's really funny to me is that they just kept updating this game with DLC. Now, I like this game. It's not a bad game. It's my first Pirate Warrior. It's a fun game. But after the game came out, it had a few DLC characters, like with some of the Wano characters, like Kinemon, Okiku. It had some of the worst generation, Killer. Oh yeah, you saw Killer, Arugs. Who else? Drake. It had a good amount of DLC. Then it stopped, and then we were just silent on what the next One Piece game was gonna be for a long time. Then we got Odyssey. After Odyssey, it had that one DLC. We had nothing. I'm like, when is the next One Piece game is going to come out? Specifically, I want a fighter. We haven't had a One Piece fighter since Burning Blood. And Burning Blood was heat. Yeah, it had its problems. If they ever make a second one, they could fix it, make the better graphics and everything. But still, well, the graphics weren't even bad in the first Burning Blood. The first Burning Blood graphics still hold up to today. But like I said, they can fix a lot of stuff with a Burning Blood 2 or another fighting game. We haven't had a fighting game for One Piece in so long. So I was waiting for that. And then out of nowhere, they called DLC for Pirate Warriors 4. I was like, what the? It's been like years since we had DLC for this junk. Why are we getting DLC now all of a sudden? This is ridiculous. Now the DLC that came out was pretty cool. They added Gear 5, they added Yamato. Yeah, that was like in the beginning of this video. Yamato, Hybrid Kaido. They had a few more DLC, which is cool. I remember it was really funny too because at that time I was thinking to myself, I wonder what's the first One Piece game that's gonna have Gear 5? Because I guess technically it was Treasure Cruise, but like the first console game. I kept thinking to myself they were gonna come out with like a new Pirate. I'm not Pirate Warriors. They were gonna come out with a new what's it called? What's it called? a new fight. I'm sorry, I just said it too. A new Burning Blood that has Gear 5. Or at the time, there was some rumors going around about a new jump game, Ultimax. I was thinking, oh, that might be the very first game with Gear 5 in it. And then, the trailer came out for this game, Gear 5. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. Like, that's cool, but I thought it was going to be something else. And then it was silent for a little while. Then they come out with some more DLC and more DLC. We got Roger, Young Garp, and all this. I used to think about that too. What's gonna be the very first game with Goldie Roger playable as Pirate Warriors? And we just kept getting more and more and more. Oh, one little funny story. I remember there was I don't have the clip anymore because Xbox deleted clips after like a few months. But I was playing as Zoro in one of the like story mode, not story mode. There's those missions you can do in mission mode. It's not called mission mode. It's called something else. But in mission mode, and I ran to the side and saw Odie to do whatever mission I was doing. And for some reason, I had all of the giant characters in one spot I had to fight. Kaido, Big Mom, Whitebeard, Jack. I was like, what in the... They were just fighting each other, and Whitebeard did like a huge wave attack that came towards me. I ran away instantly. I was like, I gotta get some help. If I go over there, I'm gonna die. I gotta go get some help. So I just ran to the side. It's not that one mission that gets you the achievement. Not that one mission I'm gonna bring up in a minute, but yeah, that mission was ridiculous. But anyway, um, yeah, it came up with more DLC. Roger, Young Garb, Young Rayleigh, all this other stuff. I was like, oh my goodness, when is a One Piece fighter? I like Pirate Warriors 4, but this is ridiculous. Then it went silent again. And then out of nowhere, it said it was gonna have like a new Gen update. And the new Gen update, I loved using Kaido. That was my boy. This was my boy right here, especially in this dragon form. But anyway, I remember it had that it was a trailer for a new Gen update. And actually whenever it did come out, it didn't really look that different. Obviously, I was part of me was thinking, they can't really just overhaul all the graphics to look like something crazy. But at the same time, I was thinking maybe that might be the case. No, not really. They just kind of updated the textures and everything to where it was like this side by side to where whenever Akainu would, throw lava around, it wouldn't really burn the ground or would somewhat. But in the new gen update, it will actually burn the ground and it did look a little bit crispier. But it was still looking more of the same. But it did look a little crispier whenever he or whenever anybody else would do specific stuff, and like it would be more of an area of effect, which was really cool. I mean, that was cool, but still at the same time, I'm like, what's the point in this? I'm like, what are we doing? Make a new game. I was like, make a new game. And then they went silent again after all that. Then out of nowhere, that poll came out. That was like, hey, we're gonna make 3 more characters of DLC, and that's it. So I never liked the character portraits next to the health bar because it was always like cut off or somewhat for any kind of character. But anyway, they were like, hey, we're making 3 more characters of DLC. Who do you guys want? And whoever's like voted for the most, the top 3 characters voted for the most, we're gonna put in as DLC. And it was like a really long list of a ton of movie characters, characters from the last game, and characters that just haven't been in Pirate Warriors at all. I want to use Katakuri so much, but I didn't really use him like that. I think he was a pre-order bonus to get early. I think so. It's been a while. I think he was though. But I remember one character on the list was Gil Tesoro. I love Gil Tesoro, so I really wanted him. Nah, he didn't get picked. It was specifically, as you saw in the beginning of the video, it was Z, Enel, and King from One Piece. I was about to say King from One Piece. But yeah, it was that. Then that One Piece Day live stream, that junk was so early in the morning, so late at night. It took forever. I was watching it with a ton of people, and eventually, when they sold off the Pirate Warriors, game, guess what these jokers did? Guess what they did? They sold off game like no, actually, they said, hey, besides from the 3 characters you guys voted for, guess what we're doing? We're coming out with 3 more characters that weren't even voted for. That's gonna come out before the characters you voted for, which was Bonnie from Egghead. And it's kind of cool they updated her ultimate list to have the attack with. He looks so Aokiji. Whenever he went to his ice form to do ice attacks or just anything, he looked so weird because it didn't really look like ice. It was like just goopy like whiteness on his body. Like I know it's like because of the graphics, but it looks so funny to me. Like the way he looked in ice form was a lot better than like burning blood, but it was like this goopy whiteness. I'm like, ugh, what is it? Why does it look like this? For Kishi? It looked really weird to me. But anyway, what was I? Yeah, well, yeah, we're coming out with Rob Lucci from Egghead, Bonnie from Egghead, we're coming over as Hawk. I mean, no, no, it wasn't even as Hawk. It was as Snake. I was like, what? This is ridiculous. They're just trying to drag this. And then eventually these characters did come out. Now they haven't announced anything about any more characters, so it seemingly looks like okay, they're done with DLC now since they had the three extra characters plus the three characters we voted on. So it seems like we're done. It seems like we're done. I don't think we're getting any more, but I mean, hey, you never know. We could. We never know. We might. So, but for right now, we're okie dokie. Nothing's happening for the moment. For the moment, nothing is happening. One little thing I do want to bring up is I did 100% the game, and one thing that was super hard to do to 100% the game, there was this mission mode. Oh yeah, I remember a lot of people complain. I remember Gloku complain about it too, about the DLC. Because normally the DLC will just come out with these characters, and since it's not a fighting game, you just play with the characters, upgrade them, and that's it. Now they did kind of upgrade how you upgrade characters because they made like a second, a third, no, yeah, a secondary path like soul something to upgrade your characters, even if they were maxed. They add some stuff to the game. And with the first few DLC characters, they added what's it called? They added some stories, like some new story missions. Not like in the story mode, but it's like these new missions to do like unique story scenarios. But after the first time they did that, they didn't do that again. After that, they just came out with just a new character, so with nothing new to do. They didn't really come up with anything new to do, which kind of sucks. But yeah, what was I saying? I 100% the game, and one thing you needed to do to 100% the game was go into mission mode. And this is one specific mission you had to do. It was called like the Ultimate Pirate Warrior or the Ultimate Warrior, something like that. And in that story, in not in the story mode, in that mission, you had to fight all of the seven warlords. You had to fight, including Law and Blackbeard. Then you had to fight all the Yonkos, and you had to fight all the Yonkos' right hand men. And you had to fight against Garp and Son Goku, and then you had to fight against all the admirals. And then I think when you beat all of them, I think what one more admiral was able to get back up, which is Akainu. I think so, or it's like one more, or well, it's like one or few more characters get back up after you defeat everybody. But you had to beat all of them back to back to back. And I played this whole game on hard mode. Oh my goodness! No matter who I picked, who was like over leveled, I was just getting spanked constantly. I'll get somewhat far. Sometimes it was like rare, but man, like when I was spazzing out, I would use Luffy, Zoro, Saki, Law, Kids on my most upgraded characters, and I would just get spanked. Like this is ridiculous. Like one or two hits, they'll put me in a spin cycle, or I just get like my health would just go down even when I get some like upgrades. I mean not upgrade, but there were like some treasure chests around here. You could like get meat and stuff to heal yourself. Those jokers would kill me so hard. Oh man, I was so mad. I used to almost spaz on the mic when I played that. And then eventually, I was like, okay, let me use Kaido. I started to use that one move where you shoot a bunch of fireballs in the air and they rain down. I remember I died, and in the retry screen, the fireballs kept falling down because I threw them up in the air. They had to fall down. I'm just looking. Oh, the big father. That was pretty cool. They added this, but I'm looking at my screen like you got to be kidding me. So one day, I remember I toned down the difficulty. Cause well, I am on hard. Let me just tone it down. No matter how low I turned it down, I was still getting like almost one or two shot. I'm like, yeah, they knew people were going to do this. It's not gonna matter what you do. So I just put it back on hard. But there was one time I played the mode to where I was Kaido, and I got all the way to the point to where I fought all the Yonkos and their right hand man. And at first I was fighting against Kaido and Jack, and I was losing some health. So I ran away, got some health. I came back. I started fighting them. They were almost dead. And then out of nowhere, Big Mom and Katakuri came up. So I had all four of these guys fighting me, and I was doing some of my biggest attacks. And whenever you do like a big super attack like this, you don't take any damage. As soon as the super's done and you're standing there, yeah, you'll take some damage. But if the enemy's doing something, but whenever you do a super attack, they don't do anything. Well, I mean they don't do anything. You don't take any damage when that happens. But I'm doing this and I'm like, yo, no way this is happening. I'm fighting all four of these guys. I tried to run away. It didn't work. Big Mom shot some fire at me, kind of created his donuts. Kaido was doing it. I died instantly. I took a break off One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for like maybe a few days. But I was able to beat it because in Kaido's upgrade path, there's an upgrade you can do to where whenever you go into Dragon mode, oh Shanks, I think Shanks is the one that pops up after you beat everybody. Um, yeah, but when I was Kaido, in Kaido's upgrade path, there's an upgrade to where whenever you go into dragon form, you instantly get a boost of health and you keep healing while you're in dragon form. Now, obviously, when you're out of dragon form, whatever your health is, but your health goes up to max and you just constantly heal while you're in dragon form. That helped me out a lot. Yo, that jump helped me out of some sticky situations because I was just getting smacked around in that. I remember there was another mission mode. I was Gear 4th, Snake Man Luffy. I was goofing around in a mission. While I was goofing around, it was like maybe 4 or 5 people in this one area because they were like because this little like there's the main mission which is red. It tells you what to do, and then there's like these little sub missions to where hey to get extra points you can go fight this guy over here and kill him really quickly, and then you can like get a boost of energy. I mean not boost of energy, but a boost in your points or whatever. And I was okay. Sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't, because sometimes they'll be out the way. But all the sub missions and all the main missions were in one spot, and they were just fighting each other. I just jumped in the middle of Snake Man. Yeah, I was just going crazy. Black Mamba, King Cobra. I was just doing anything I could. I don't have the clip anymore because Xbox deletes clips after like a month or so. So that kind of sucked. But I took a clip of that. I'm like, what is happening? This is this is so ridiculous. What is going on? It's just hilarious. There's another funny moment to where when I was playing the game in the Wano section, I was Zoro and I like sliced, and then the cutscene happened to pause to show like some area was opening up. But I jumped in the air into the slice, and I was in the cutscene. I jumped in the air and sliced while the character was talking. Then I jumped back down. That was so funny to me. I was cracking up. Yeah, see, whenever they boost, they just fly, and that would always throw me off. I just hated that. Not that they were bad characters, but sometimes I just want to use the boost because it would just throw me off so much whenever I did that. Um, besides from like 1 or 2 cutscenes I do want to show, I think that's about it for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 for all my moments I have that I can remember in my history with this series. I think these are the last few characters too in this video. Sanji's brothers and sisters and stuff. Did y'all ever see that one comment that dude made that was like, "Hey Oda, how come whenever Sanji looks at Reiju, he doesn't get heart eyes and start going, ooga ooga, because he does that for every girl." Oda's like, that's his sister. That's his sister, dog. Why would he do that to his sister? Like, what's going on with you? That was, oh, yeah, I think it's over. Okay, I'm back, and here's the cutscene I was talking about where it was Katakuri, Kid, and Luffy all jumping Jack was really cool. This video was made by Act Twister, but the T is not 2 T's, it's just Act and then Twister. So, I'm also put the link to his video in the comics, but here's a really cool cutscene when they were all jumping him. That was dope. That was so cool to me. I'm like, what? They jumping Jack on a combo attack? That was really cool. I love that. I really wish he was in the game too. He's in the story mode, but he's not in the like a playable character. That's what I meant. And the cutscenes in this game aren't too bad. They look really good. There are a few that look a little weird because of the way the graphics are, but yeah, the cutscenes are pretty good. I do like them. Now there is this one cutscene I saw at the very beginning of the game. It was so funny. I remember they released it before the game came out. I don't really like Big Mom that much. I like Kaido a lot more than Big Mom. I don't really like her that much. I kind of hate her. So that one cutscene in the beginning had me cracking up. All my friends would send it to me. I was sending it to them to where it was in the beginning where Luffy and Kid were fighting Kaido. No, they were fighting Big Mom. Sorry. And then Kaido came out of nowhere and said, "Move it, Lin Lin," and hit her. And she went flying like 10 miles that way. I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way, that just happened." That had me cracking up, man. I gotta find that cutscene. Okay, I'm back again. Here's the really cool cutscene where all the Straw Hats were jumping Big Mom and specifically Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy. All did a combination attack to push Big Mom off the mountain. This was cool. I mean, come on. I wish this was like canon. This was really dope. The fact that they did this, sent her flying like 10 feet that way. That was really cool that they did that. A lot of people were like, hey, how come Sanji hit a woman? They're like, well, technically he hit Prometheus because Prometheus was around Big Mom's arm. I'm like, yeah, I guess technically, but at the same time, I mean, it is Big Mom still, so I don't know. I don't really know. But I mean, I guess if you want to kind of like that, which is funny. Okay, I'm back, and here's the really cool cutscene at the end of the game where everybody was jumping Kaido. Obviously, if you know One Piece, this is not how it actually happened. Sabo was not here. The block of borrowed breath, Momonosuke was on his back, but they had to come up with their own original ending. But what they did was really cool. I don't have another really cool story to where whenever the news cycle was coming out for this game, I remember I was looking at a bunch of videos, whenever I was at home or at school, and specifically this one day they came out with a bunch of screenshots for the game, and some of the screenshots were some of them that you see in like the Xbox or PlayStation store, to where you see Luffy fighting Big Mom in this cool little. Not animation, but it's not really a cutscene in the game. It's more like promotional art. But you see that. You also saw other like screenshots from the game, and there's one screenshot that I see all the time, and also that whenever you go into Xbox or PlayStation store, it's a screenshot of Zoro holding his sword, getting ready to swing it out to fight against Drake in his giant monster, not monster form, in his like T Rex form. I know it's called something else, but I just call it T Rex because I forgot the word for it. But his giant like T Rex form. And one of my friends that not really big into anime, he was looking at me watching some of the videos and looking at the screenshots. He said, "Whoa, is that like a Muso game?" I was like, "Yeah, this is a Muso game." He was like, "That looks kind of cool. This is One Piece, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Let me look at it." I was showing him some of it, and when I got to that screenshot of Zoro about to fight the dinosaur, he said, "What? Is he about to fight that?" I was like, "Yeah." I mean, you can turn into that if you have the right devil fruit. No way. I mean, I know I'm making it sound sarcastic, but he was actually kind of interested. He was like, "Oh wow, that looks kind of crazy. They're fighting dinosaurs and stuff." I'm making him sound sarcastic, but he was actually kind of interested in the game, which is funny. So he didn't get it though. He didn't get it, but he was actually kind of interested. I remember one of my other friends, like really big into Muso game. He specifically plays Dynasty Warriors. He was like, I think he played one of them at a friend's house, and my good friend went to react on Twitch and YouTube. He looked at it. He said, "This doesn't look bad. It doesn't look good either. What's going on?" Like he never saw a game like this, which is funny. The ending in the Wano story was kind of wonky because Kaido was like, you guys are pretty strong, but you're still not beating me yet. And he was able, like, he could tell he could fight for a lot longer, but he didn't. He just left, like, come fight me again. I'm like, what? He just left for no reason? What about the rest of his crew? Like, that was the main thing. I was like, so he's not gonna get his crew. He just leaves just to leave. Obviously, they have to make something up, but stuff. I was like, what? What? It's like, what? That is hilarious. I remember there was that other cutscene some of my friends were like sending around where it was right when they were walking towards Kaido's base to go fight him. It was when Kid was like standing on the going not the going Mary, the Thousand Sunny, and was walking towards the rest of the group because he was behind. Log just did shambles and teleported him over to the rest of the group. But the kid didn't stop walking. Like he didn't stop like, oh, I just got shambled. No, he was walking on the Thousand Sunny. They kept it moving. They kept walking. I was like, ugh, kid think he cold. That was hilarious. He thought he was so smooth doing that. That was so funny whenever I saw that. It was smooth though. He was thinking he was smooth, but that was pretty smooth though. I ain't gonna lie. That was pretty geek stuff. Though. That was nice. And oh yeah, the ending cutscene where everybody's having a party, which was funny. I think there was one scene where Sanji was giving food to someone. I think it's gonna show up in a second, but he was like giving food to it's probably the girls. And then Cavendish came in. It was like, yo, move out of the way, like getting mad at him. I forgot who maybe it was Kinemon. I forgot which one it was, but it was funny seeing when he did that. I took a lot of screenshots here too. But yeah, I guess the last cutscene that I'll show is the Kaido hitting Big Mom. Now, usually at the very beginning of the game, when it shows Luffy fighting her, then it goes into Alabasta and everything. But it doesn't show that in this video, so I'm gonna have to go find a different video and show it. I'm gonna also shout out that person too and show it there. But yeah, I really wish this game had dub. I don't think any One Piece game ever had dub before. I saw this petition going on this one Twitter account. I gotta find it. Actually, yeah. When I pause it, to go find a video with the Kaido hitting Big Mom. I'm gonna go find that Twitter account because he was doing like a really big petition. Uh, oh no, I don't know how to say the word now. Petition. He was doing like this big thing to have dub in the next One Piece game because I don't know why dub isn't in any One Piece games. It's in all the Dragon Balls and Naruto games. It's in My Hero games. Not saying My Hero's bad. I love My Hero, but One Piece is bigger than My Hero. I don't know why. Almost every anime game that's coming out now or before it has it, but One Piece has never had it. Hopefully, the next One Piece game, whatever that's gonna be, it has it. Well, hopefully they need this, man. Like Spark and Zero had it and it's gonna have it for every DLC. You know how many characters in that Joker? well, somewhat some of the characters are mainly just the same character, but just Super Saiyan. But you know how many Pacific characters in there, and they have all the dialogue and special dialogue between each other. Come on, come on, we need dub in the next One Piece game. This is ridiculous. But yeah, sorry. Let me sorry about that. Let me pause the video and get to that last cutscene, and then we'll end the video. I was just trying to ramble because I was trying to get to that one scene with Sanji, but I guess it's not gonna show up, or if it is gonna show up, I don't know when it's gonna show up. I know it's in this party. I know it's in this party scene at the very end, but I can't really find it. Actually, I guess I'll just pause it and go find that, and I'll go find the other scene because this is gonna it's gonna eat me up alive if I don't show it. Okay, here we go. I think it's gonna be right after this with the whole Zoro and King arguing about Susui, which is hilarious. But yeah, I think it's gonna yeah, right here, right here. Him and Kevin is arguing about, geez, I didn't know he kicked him. Oh my god, he completely kicked him. And they're arguing about the ladies. Okay, yeah, that's the scene. So now let me pause it and get that Twitter account. 'Cause I completely forgot the name of it, but that's a good petition though. I think I'm saying that wrong, but that's a good petition to have. Okay, I was able to find it. This video is made by Ruben Hen 925. Get out of my way, Linlin! I just sent him flying, yo. That was so hilarious to me. I was cracking up the first time I saw this. I remember my whole YouTube friend group, Nonsense Nab, The Green Sogan, Gaming So Savage, Black Curie, Hypebeast Morgans, all of them. They knew I hate Big Mom. I remember Nonsense sent me that video of that happening. He said, Captain Yi gotta be making this game. I was like, what do you mean? I watched the clip. I was like, what? No way that just happened. That had me cracking up. But yeah, that's about everything for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. So, like, share, oh, actually, I'm gonna have to pause one more time. I'm so sorry about that. I almost got to bring up the guy that's making the petition. His username on Twitter is Miles at Miles underscore media 18 at Miles underscore media 18 118. Sorry, at Miles underscore media 118. That's his profile. He's doing like a petition and put dub in One Piece games. His profile picture is Luffy laying down when he was talking about his dream. Yeah, at Miles underscore media 118, and it's like the manga panel of him talking about his dream. And that's everything I got from One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Here's a few One Piece things I have in my room besides from obviously the disc. I have this paper mache hat I made, a straw hat for art class, which is really cool. There's this Zoro pop that I have and a Luffy pop. I don't really collect too many pops, but I have those two things. And then I also have, well, obviously, the disc, for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. And I love how Kaido's up here too, right next to Luffy fighting him. That's dope. But yeah, that's everything I got for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. They'll probably make a Pirate Warriors 5 one day. Hopefully, they have a fighting game before that. But I mean, hey, if they do make Pirate Warriors 5, I'm still gonna buy it. I like Pirate Warriors, but hopefully it's a fighting game before they make number 5, and hopefully there's gonna be dub in the game. Yeah, at Miles underscore media 118. He's doing a petition for it, and that's really good. I'm glad about that. Hopefully they do have dub in the next game. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I thank all of that be one human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. All right. Go out and find the One Piece.